Hello and welcome to another round of My Team Korea as we fast track it into qualifying session here at Imola. We're looking to make more progression on our race at Miami. That if you didn't put on the channel, Miami, we were down in 11th place, but a spin from, I think it was Esteban Ocon, caused the entire field ahead to bunch up. Ocon got a 10-second penalty, and we went from P11 to P8 at the end there, getting very beneficial from a mistake from the AI ahead, as well as the AI not being able to battle each other. But as we go to the end of our first quali lap here, coming around the two double left-handers here, we move on to cross the line, and we do what we think is a pretty good lap time, as we come across the line in P9, 4 tenths behind Ollie Behrman in P7. At this point I'm like, alright, P10, that is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that as a starting pace. We realised very quickly that a lot of cars had their laps to do still, as we watch our position drop down, way down to 20th place. So now we know we've got to go again. We've got to know where we've got to find some time, as we see that we are not too far away from the likes of Behrman in 14th still. However, we need to find a lot of time. So with that in mind, we start our final quali lap, giving it everything we've got, knowing I've got to find at least half a second to maybe get ahead of Behrman if he doesn't improve his lap time. As we nail the first sector of corners, we head down to the second chicane, absolutely fully sending it, tyre on the grass on the outside, and we do use flashback just because I do not want to ruin the race, and the AI is always perfect, and this is literally my second racing lap since I woke up because I did the free practice the night before. But as we come up the hill, we're about 4,800s ahead of my lap time here. So at this point here we're doing very well as we make our way, as we cut the corner a bit there. That's sitting on my mind for the next few seconds. We end up backing up here and cancelling that bit out. So we're going to rewind now, because we decided that's not the right thing to do. We saw if we cut the corner, that's invalidated. It's clearly gaining an advantage. So we're going to go for it again. Give back to what I took away a moment ago, as we immediately bin it and very quickly realised that we were going to butcher that run. We do it, give it one more attempt as we go down the hill. The double right-hander, probably if you can nail the traction here, which we do, you can gain a lot of time, as our delta on our old lap is now 3/4 of a second just about, as we fully attack the chicane. Coming down the hill now, we're about 1 second ahead of our delta. We only thought we had about half a second of the lap as the track's got on quicker, so have we. As we come around the final corner,
we've been pushed down to P21.
Using all that battery as we secure a lap time 1 second quicker, which fundamentally puts us all the way up to P10, which is where we thought we were at the end of our first lap. But we make it to P10. And we move on to the race. Good thing to notice about the top 10 cars is there's no Norris and no Antonelli there.
With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event.
So that is going to put a lot of pressure on us for the race, knowing they're going to be coming up the field. So after last race, I quickly discovered that an undercut is super powerful here in this F125 game. So we're going to go for a short stint on the mediums, 2 laps shorter, as we get underway from P9 with the car having a grid penalty. And it's lights out and away we go as we get a great start up to P8 immediately. 1 place on Mick Doohan falling down the order with Alex Albon right behind us, defending the inside line. As we send it, brake as late as we possibly can, just to avoid contact with Alonso. Gasly on the outside into turn 3. As we send the battery and we make up another place. We're up into P7. What a great start. as we collide with Alonso, crash right into him. We quickly give that place back, in the process losing a place to Pierre Gasly. Doing our best to get that place on Alonso, but Alonso used his overtake, sending it up the hill as Alex Albon looks for a move up on our right side, which becomes the outside as we go over the hill. Albon sitting behind us now as Fernando Alonso quickly puts a small gap on us, about 0.6 of a second here. Coming up this second hill here under the crypto badge, we are now settled into what appears to be P8. As we see if there's any opportunity to close the gap on Alonso here. We've survived lap 1, barely, after hitting Alonso and nearly hitting him into the first corner as well, if you're not sure if you saw that. But lap 1's over, DRS available next lap. Let's settle in as we nearly lose it, coming up the final corner. Thanks Alex Albon, all the invitation he needs, as he sends it up the left-hand side, giving him the inside for the first corner here. As we look for a move to go on the outside, Tsunoda's on our left, we have to go to the right if we want to make the move. Albon getting squirrely into turn 1, loses traction, loses position, as we get the place back into P8, and we can survive another lap, but all that effort has now made us lose our entire battery supply. My best hope right now is to stay in the battery of the DRS of Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso. I hope they battle, but the only real way to take an opportunity position on this track is into the first place zone. And that's after DRS assistance. So let's see how we go here as we fast forward and see what's going on later in the race. Fast forwarding now on to the middle of lap 5, Yuki Tsunoda now has cleared Alex Albon, and he is now my main rival. And you can see ahead I have fallen out of DRS range of Alonso and Gasly. Like I said, they're not battling hard enough for me to need, they're just not battling hard enough for me to gain any DRS off them anymore, as we lost it at the end of lap 4. Looking at my tyres, wondering why I'm sliding so much now, absolutely struggling as we battle with Tsunoda. Coming out the chicane here. Tucking in behind Tsunoda, getting that juicy DRS detection point. We send it up the inside of Tsunoda. Big, urgent move by me, almost desperate, because we just want to stay ahead for one more lap. Still holding on to P8, even with DRS. Tsunoda overtakes us before the DRS detection zone, as Tsunoda just moves and hits me under this straight line as we go for an overtake on him, which causes me to reset because I think that was absolutely dirty move by Tsunoda as we defend the left hand side, which becomes the inside line as 3 cars behind us back jockeying for position here. As we have quickly realised the grip in our tyres are now gone, as we start to struggle to keep the car pointing in a straight line. The rear end is absolutely just wanting to step out on us at every corner at this point. The tyre wear is a lot more punishing this year, as every junction, every turn, I guarantee the back end is going to step out here. It didn't, but you saw how gingerly we were going around that corner there. Under non-stop pressure from Tsunoda, no battery to defend with. Super careful through all the corners right now. It's absolutely brutal as we try to get up the corner, and we're going to spin out here. I don't think keeping time. I'm expecting to spin out in every corner at this point, because I know how much pain I was in on these tyres. Ended up wanting to hit lap 9, I believe, and I know we do end up hitting a lap earlier. Not even bothering defending with Tsunoda this time, hoping he's going to get ahead before the DRS detection zone. Go up the inside, trying to keep him behind me for a bit longer, and then bring a bit late. Leave up the inside. He goes around the inside, the final corner. I go around the outside, dump the battery, and just for a moment we stay ahead. But now we drop down to 9th place. Can we hold against Albon? Doing behind Albon, goes around the outside, doing. Also goes on the outside, and just like that, we're now outside the points. As we have the collision to do it. Another silly mistake by me. As we fast forward now to lap 8 of 22, struggling to hold on to the back of Doohan and Albon right now as the gap just borderline exceeds 0.8 of a second. As the back end just steps out, the rear's on 34%.
Box now, please. Box this lap.
Borderline unable to keep the car under control here. At this point I was thinking, do I stay out another lap or two, stay with them and maintain the DRS, but I do fundamentally decide to pit in this lap, just hoping the undercut is as powerful as I believe it to be. We tuck in, dump the battery to get into the pits. We full send it.
Up to speed now, let's get some
And
heat
make our
into
way
those
to the
tyres.
pits. All we've got to hope now is our pit crew does a stellar job. As we drop down the order down to 21st place. Good optimal pit stop, 2.5 seconds. Will they make a mistake? It's a clean, fast pit stop onto the hard tyres. It's to the end now. And let's see if we can use this fresh rubber to close the gap on track.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Come out the final corner, fast forward to the end of lap 10 now to lap 11. The first runners have gone for their first pit stop now, and only pit stop of the race.
Piastri
Alex Albon, we jumped ahead. Albon, who just overtook us, we were 1 second behind him. He is now, as we get a delta up there, he's about 4 seconds behind us now. That undercut has played massively as we look over to his pit stop now. We get a replay of his pit stop right now. Nothing showing wrong right now, as it's a very slow pit stop. Front right tyre just not wanting to come off there. And he finally gets the tyre on, and he gets going. Probably lost about 2 seconds in the pit stops there, as he makes his way ahead. As we're now flying high with a position gain, knowing we're net P10 now, because we were P11, with now Albon having lost a whole position to us. We're now net P10 as we wait for the other cars to pick ahead of us. We've skipped ahead to the end of this lap. The rest of the cars doing their pit stops now, trying to see where Mick Doohan comes out. As we've come out ahead of Doohan and Norris, with Alex Albon getting past the both of them as they leave the pits. We'll need to see what happened in their pit stop to know why they've also fallen so far behind. Let's skip to the replay camera now. So we see Doohan go in. Another slow pit stop, no actual errors, but just a slow pit stop, and has to let 2 or 3 cars through. Very, very long pit lane at Imola. And Hauger comes through and overtakes them now. There I go, as they just leave the pit lane now, and there's Albon getting the undercut on the both of them. Now this is where the race gets really interesting, because I'm in P9 right now, I've got 2 points, I need to keep them both behind me for another 10 laps. Let's see how I do. I've been saving battery, and see how I manage this race. We fast forward to the end of lap 13, start of lap 14. We see Lando Norris about 3 tenths behind Alex Albon here, knowing full well that Norris in the fastest car is now going to get ahead of Albon and be hunting me down. All I'm thinking is right now, if he's going to catch me up in a lap, I need him to catch me up quickly and keep more than a second gap between himself and Alex Albon, so Albon doesn't get that DRS, because I will not be able to defend that gap with DRS against Albon with 7 laps to go still. So I'm giving it everything I've got right now to try and keep that gap as far away as possible from Norris, but so Norris is not close enough to Albon to give Albon DRS into the next lap. As we watch the delta times between Norris and Albon, neck and neck at a second, and it's just hundredths of a second more than a second between Norris and Albon, which means Albon will not get DRS this time around, which means he'll also be put under pressure from the car behind him. Norris 6 tenths behind, not using battery here. I know I'm not going to keep Norris behind me, and I don't want to lose time behind him. Let him through and just we've got our own race to do here. We're still in the points. Even if it's 1 point, a point is better than no points. If we make the right decision to let them through, let's see how the last few laps go. 8 to go. Fast forward, coming down to the last lap now. Tyres absolutely streaming. For the first time, Albon is going to get DRS on me, sitting at 8 tenths behind me as we start the start-finish straight.
Final lap, push.
There's going to be an absolute push to the end here. Using all the battery on he nearly gets the move around the outside, catching me off guard. Hold the inside line, push him wide there. Not letting him get around the outside of me. That could have been the points lost in the last lap of the race there. As we fully commit, using all our battery. We don't have to save it for the straight anymore, so we can use whatever battery we save up right now. This corner has been the bane of my existence. The back end just doesn't want to lock in. Very, very gingerly on the power there. Going up the hill, Albon still sending it, closing 2 tenths on that straight alone. Keeping the car under control, under balance. Going through this sector now. All we got to do is hold out for a few more important corners to get that important championship point. And Albon half a second behind me as we go through the right-left chicane here. Straighten the car up. Sitting on hot lap mode, now using the overtake. We're under 10%, we just need to use it all. 2 corners to go, 4 tenths down. We're nearly there. We get a massive chunk of understeer. It brings Albon within 4 tenths. He's closing, and we beat him by less than a quarter of a second. One more lap, and we would have been out the points, and a whole race for nothing. But we secured P10 after starting P10. We got to 7th early on, but our car just lacked any pace.
It's another victory and a champion's performance.
Overall, a great race, and hopefully a lot more close battles like that going forward. I think my biggest concern right now is the tyre wear, however. Every race I've been struggling to keep the rears from spinning about halfway through a stint, and it slows me down very quickly as I lose all confidence to put the power down. But yeah, overall it was a great race. Great start by me. Starts are a lot easier to get a good one on F125 compared to the previous years. Either that, I'm just getting better at them. Very good into turn 1, the inside of the Alpine Gasly, I believe it was. Using the battery to secure the inside line. Oversend it into Alonso, don't we? Yeah, that was lucky that neither one of us got damage from that. Lost 2 places though, to Alonso and Gasly as we try and defend, but overall the battling was pretty much done at the start of the race to get to P7. Worked our way through, well, worked our way back realistically, defending as best we can from the cars around us. Ended up being P11 before the pit stops, out the points, choosing to go for a big undercut of 2 laps on a 35% race distance, and it allowed us to jump 3 cars, I believe, as Norris came through the field, which ended up just leaving P10 for us, as we had to give it everything we could because every lap Albon was closing me down and I was going fast enough to last until the last lap before he would get DRS on me. Overall, it was a great race and definitely a challenge. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.